All right. Good afternoon. Thanks for allowing us to present the progress on this project that's been ongoing for the last few years. And as was mentioned, I'm going to be discussing our work on Seriola dorsalis. So for those that don't know, Seriola dorsalis is also known as California yellowtail. It's a seasonally abundant species in Southern California. Hub Sewer Research Institute's been working on this species for over 20 years. And throughout that time, most of the research that we've been doing, we've been thinking of it as Seriola landi. As of 2015, it's now a separate species, dorsalis, and we are seeing some different culture parameters. And this project has kind of teased out some of those differences, which I'll mention in the next few slides. And this species back in 2019, along with 11 others, has been identified as commercially ready for production in the United States. So our primary goal for this project was to develop year-round spawning strategies for captive broodstock, as well as improve larval culture methods for sustainable seed production. And we wanted to accomplish that goal through three different objectives. One, establish an out-of-season breeding population. Two, begin to develop a formulated diet for yellowtail broodstock, understanding that it takes a long time to develop broodstock diets. And then continue to optimize methods for larval rearing, specifically focused on improvement of swim bladder inflation. So we started by, all of our broodstock tanks in our Mission Bay laboratory are subject to ambient light and water. And so we needed to retrofit one of our broodstock tanks. We were able to build this recirculating system back in 2021. We were able to begin to condition our one broodstock population. In 2021, we allowed them to spawn naturally. We were able to shut off the spawning just by lowering the temperature below 15. In the summer of 2021, we were able to get spawns in the winter of 2022, and it was pretty intermittent. After those couple spawn events, we were able to shut them down before the summer of 2022 and then turn them back on in the fall of 2022 into 2023. And that last group here is pretty indicative of what we see for a natural spawning population for California yellowtail. So it's a good demonstration that this, along with other Seriola, can be controlled with out-of-season spawning. For objective 2, Allison went over a lot of this at the start of this meeting. We wanted to try to develop a formulated broodstock diet. So we started by looking at some historical egg samples that we had taken back in 2017 and 2018. And through collaboration with Harbor Branch, we were able to analyze those. And what we found, and was already mentioned, that basically none of the diets were meeting the nutritional needs of the California yellowtail. Which was interesting because one of those was our historic fish and squid with vitamin premix. And again, you can find all this information in this publication that we put out in North American Journal of Aquaculture. So this led us into a broodstock nutrition trial of our own in 2021, looking at Vitalis. And the main difference between this trial and others was that it was a temporal shift, as Allison mentioned. We needed to do that because we only had one broodstock population that we were using for this trial. And so this allowed us to increase replication and get at how eggs were incorporating fatty acids into the broodstock diet. The finding of 10 to 19 days, 2 to 3 weeks of incorporation, it can be important for producers and researchers to be able to allow you to try different diets over the course of the season. If maybe something isn't working right, you can see egg quality differences and potentially egg production differences. The other important finding was that we were able to find some recommended inclusion levels of EPA, alpha-linolenic, and linoleic acids to be able to help in formulation of broodstock diets. And a lot of this work is still ongoing for us for other research projects. Our final method was to optimize methods for larval rearing. Over the course of 4 years, we completed 8 larval rearing trials focused on inflation factors, including light intensity, duration, wavelength, surface access, feeding rates, and rearing temperature. Of those factors, we got hits on 2 of them: photoperiod and rearing temperature. Photoperiod, our typical rearing method, has 24-hour light out to about 30 days post-hatch. We have changed that to, based on our rearing trials, 18.6, and we're getting some improvements in inflation. The other interesting one was rearing temperature. All, again, like I mentioned, a lot of the research that we've been doing has been based on Lalandi research, and that is rearing larvae at 21 to 22 degrees. The rearing temperature seems to have a benefit, at least early on, for improving the swim bladder inflation. And we're going to continue to look at this topic in the start of 2025. And then the final trial that we ran in 2024 was a commercial weaning diet. We wanted to see if there are other diets out there that could meet Otohime. Otohime has been our commercial control for decades, and it's also being used with other Seriola, and it works well. But being able to find a different source for a potential Seriola industry would be important moving forward. And Aglanornis seemed to be one. Aglanornis, based on growth and survival, is one that compared similarly to Otohime. We still have biochemical analysis going on, and we'll be presenting more of this information at Aquaculture 2025 in New Orleans. So just to sum up, we were able to successfully out-of-season spawn our Seriola. This is allowing us to do now year-round research on the species, which is opening up a lot of good research topics. We've demonstrated that commercial diet can be used for California yellowtail broodstock, understanding that the formulation still isn't ideal, and more broodstock nutrition work needs to be done to be able to really improve egg quality and egg production. We feel like we've come up with a good experimental design from temporal replication. We've kind of expanded on that in other projects, increasing some of this, broodstock tank numbers, but also allowing for the multiple diet shifts is really giving an insight into this broodstock nutrition work. Seeing some improvement in inflation rates with adjustment of photoperiod and rearing temperature, and demonstrated that another commercial diet other than Otohime can be used for good success. And I will say that the reason that this is for commercial diets, it's really difficult to get some of the diets that are available in Europe and Asia, Australia. So we're kind of limited into what we can get. So finding another micro diet is pretty important. And so overall publications, I mentioned the 2, and Allison mentioned the 2 that we put out on broodstock nutrition. There's a 3rd that's in prep for the out-of-season spawning group. And over the years, we presented our information at Aquaculture America, and there's, I believe, 2 other presentations that we'll be giving in New Orleans. So at this point, questions can be held, I guess, but that's all that I have.